New training block means new shoes. More on these towards the end of the video. Before I start today's video, where I'm going to talk about moving from the Maffetone heart rate based running into the 80-20 running method, I just want to welcome all the new subscribers to the channel. I've had a lot of new subscribers over the past few weeks, and I really do appreciate every one of you taking the time to click on the channel and click on these videos to see what I'm all about and to follow along with my running journey. And for those regulars that have been following the channel for quite some time, you'll know that I've just come out of an 11-week Maffetone training block where I did those 5 and 10 kilometer races. And now I've moved into the 80-20 running method, where I'm also going to do 5 and 10 kilometer races. Now, I've had a lot of comments recently from subscribers talking about how they think that the 80-20 running method will produce much better results for those 5 and 10 kilometer races compared to the Maffetone training block. I agree 100%. I would expect the results for those 5 and 10 kilometer races will be much better. But for me, when I first started out this project, MAF or 80-20, which is better, it wasn't all about being results driven. Over the past 3 years, I've had a lot of interruptions with my running, with injury, accidents. There was even a little health scare in there. And I needed to work out what was going to be best for my running in the future and to keep me running for as long as possible. Now, I'm almost 55. I do have some knee issues, which has really curtailed the amount of mileage that I've done in recent times. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to experiment with these running methods to see what's going to work best. I know the Maffetone method works really well for me. The results from last year prove that. Even some of the results in the 11 weeks that I had in the first training block really did show that it's a system that works well with me. But what I want to do is just see how much further I can take my running, and that's why I'm using the 80-20 method now, just to see if my body is able to cope with that higher quality sessions. And that's what the 80-20 is all about now. I'm not going to completely give up on the Maffetone method, but in this 80-20 training block, I really want the 80% of my running to be pretty much by feel. I just want to be able to learn again how to run easy without having to check the watch every 2 or 3 minutes to make sure that my heart rate is in the right range. So in this training block, the 80-20, I'm going to run my easy days by feel. Yes, I'm still going to wear a heart rate strap, and the heart rate strap there is so that I can check the data after each run, just to make sure that those easy runs are easy and I'm not overdoing it. Now, when I first decided to do this project or experiment, my plan was that whatever I did on the Maffetone training block, I would mirror in the 80-20 block. But I've had a bit of a rethink about that, because with the Maffetone training block, I started really low mileage, 30 to 40 kilometers a week, and built up to, I got to a little bit over 70 kilometers a week. Now, I'm thinking if I go back to mirroring the Maffetone block in the 80-20 block and starting at that 30 to 40 kilometer weekly mileage range, I think that's going to be detrimental to my running. So what I'm going to do is continue at that sort of 60 to 70 kilometer weekly mileage in the 80-20. And how I'm going to break that down is, obviously the 20% of the running method is 12 to 14 kilometers a week. Now, that's a lot of higher quality sessions. So how I'm going to structure my weeks around that 20% of higher quality sessions, well, we're very fortunate here in Australia that we've got parkrun, so I'm going to be using the 5 kilometer park runs on Saturday as part of the 20%. Those days I will mix it up. Some weeks I'll do a tempo, other weeks I might do something like a kilometre on, a kilometre off, or 500 metres on, 500 metres off. So that still leaves a lot of mileage to be done each week to achieve that 20% of higher quality sessions. My plan is to mix it up again midweek, where I'll do a longer tempo, or I'll do longer timed efforts, hill sessions during this 11-week program, and we'll just see how it goes. I've got my fingers crossed that the body will be able to cope with the 20% of quality sessions, and if it doesn't, then at the end of the 11 weeks, then I'll have to experiment further. It's all about determining what's going to work best for me so that I can run for as long as I can. I love running, and I want to be able to do this wonderful activity for as long as possible. As I said, almost at the end of the first week of the 80-20, and this week's just been about finding that easy running groove again. I had the Gold Coast 10-kilometre race there last Sunday, so I've taken things reasonably easy this week. Still keeping that mileage up around that 60 to 70 kilometres. No quality sessions at all this week, just allowing the body to recover a little bit and just getting the body adjusted to not running too heart rate like I have been for the last 11 weeks. So finally, what do I want to achieve out of this 80-20 training block? Well, I think I touched on it, and that's finding what is going to work for my running. I'm really hoping that I'm going to be able to do at least one quality session a week as part of my running going forward. Do I want to run faster in those 5 and 10 kilometre races in the 80-20 compared to what I did in the Maffetone method? Yeah, of course I do. There's still a competitive streak in me. I wouldn't be honest if I said there wasn't. I'd still like to compete against myself. I still like to test my limits, and I guess that's why this experiment or this project has come about, because I want to test myself just to see how far I can push the body. The goals from the 80-20, yes, faster 5 kilometre and faster 10 kilometre races, but what I really want out of this training block is that the body is able to cope with this higher intensity type running and will allow me to continue along that sort of path into the future. That's about it. That's pretty much what's the 80-20. Over the course of the next 10 weeks through this running method, I'll take you through some sessions that I'm doing. I'll take you through some of the long runs that I'm doing. I am hoping to build the longer runs up. First run of the 80-20 done. Just a nice easy, bit over 8k recovery run after yesterday's Gold Coast 10. Body feels pretty good. I'm wearing the heart rate strap, but not paying any attention to it. I really want to get used to trusting myself to make these easy days easy. So I'm still wearing the heart rate strap to just keep an eye on the data and make sure that I don't overdo it on these easy days, those 80. A new training block means new shoes. Shout out to Running Warehouse for getting these shoes to me really quickly. So just going to open them now. Going to take these bad boys out for a run today. So let's see what they are. New Balance. Check them out on the run, guys. I'll give you my... Going to do something a little bit different with new shoes from now on. I'm going to give you a one word, yep, that's right, one word first impression on these shoes when I take them out today. And then after I've done about, let's say 160k, 100 mile, I'll give you my full impression. Let's go running, let's give these shoes a whirl, and let's see if they live up to the hype. First run in the New Balance Fuel Cell Rebel version 2, and my first word impression is bouncy. Full impression of these shoes when I hit 100 mile or 160k, I might get there reasonably quickly. midweek longish run done, 16.5k. Had about a minute where I had to wait for a couple of trains to cross the railway lines, but rolling over some hills this morning, just starting to try and build a little bit more strength into the legs and just rolling over them at a little bit quicker pace than what I have been doing in that last training block with the MAF. As I said earlier on in the week, it's all about perceived effort in this 80-20, trying to learn again to run nice and easy without having to check the heart rate all the time. And today just rolled along at a nice comfortable pace, rolled over the hills at a nice pace, worked a little bit up the hills, but after that 10k race you saw in the last video, I'm a little bit weak on the hills. Be starting to build a few more hills into my runs to build up that leg strength. It's something that I used quite successfully in a marathon program. Midweek long runs over hilly terrain really does build the strength for those longer distances and shorter distances as well. So more hills coming. Oh, just about twisted my ankle there and a little divot. Here's my cheer squad, just waiting for me to come home, aren't ya? Thursday, just ran for an hour, rolling over some more hills. Looking forward to tomorrow, rest day, to absorb all this new training in this 80-20, especially the hills of the last couple of days. Legs just feeling it a little bit into the weekend, park run and long run. Thanks if you've made it all the way through to the end. If you give it a thumbs up, would really appreciate it. It does really help the channel out. And if you're not a subscriber, please consider hitting that subscribe button, and don't forget to tap that notification bell too, because that'll let you know when the next video drops on the channel. Okay guys, that's it for this video. I hope your running is going really well. I'm going to throw it back to the playlist for this project, the MAF or 80-20, which is better. So you can click up there and have a look at all the videos that I've made so far. That's it. Stay safe, happy running, and I'll catch you in the next one. Hooroo.